Hi, my name is Stefan and I'm the guy behind the GSC Helper extension. And in this video, I want to give you a glimpse of the functionalities that the extension has to offer. I won't be able to show everything because this would require a 1-hour video or so. So maybe I will create additional videos based on the different functionalities, but this is a quick run through so that you have an idea what the extension can bring you. So let's switch over into the GSC. And on the homepage, you will have a button which is called Download Reports. Download Reports is a functionality where you can either download the data from one specific property or multiple properties with the so-called property sets that you can define, either locally or to Google Sheets. I don't need access to your Google Drive. Everything happens locally because what I'm doing, I'm basically emulating these export functionalities. So for example, a click or pseudo click on Google Sheets, and then you will get the local data in here. So when I was starting the extension, I was building quite a lot of functionalities inside the performance report. So for example, you can inject various buttons. So for example, to search on Google for a specific query, or an option to keep the current filters and basically open multiple queries at once or multiple pages at once. And apart from this, you have a simplified way how you can define dates. So you could say last full quarter you want to analyze, or you are going to save your own regex even within the extension. So you can set up everything here, give it a score. The score basically determines the sorting at the end. And when you save it, you will then be able to see these regex here and can just load them. So for example, if you have, I don't know, a regex that is differentiating between branded and non-branded clicks or whatsoever, save it and you have it by your hand directly in the GC interface and don't need to remember it. The core functionality are always these advanced reports. I don't have them for all the views, but for the major ones. So for example, here, that's the view for the by query report. And you have a breakdown here into single terms. So the search queries, like meine Google Bewertungen, they are containing 3 terms, meine Google Bewertung, and I can analyze them and then see which queries are including them, on which position I'm currently ranking. I can use quick filters over here, like saying, okay, only show me the ones where I'm ranking, let's say between position 5 to 7. I have distribution charts in here, like saying how many keywords do I have that are ranking in the first position, second position. I can show then also the clicks or the share of clicks. You have here a chart that is showing the performance based on the position in a slightly different way. So you can then also blend the CTR or see the amount of keywords you have, or only show one specific data point in the chart, and much more. An interesting one is also this scatter chart, I think it's called in English. What you can see here is basically the CTR of single keywords based on their position. So the CTR, the higher a bubble is, the higher the CTR is, meaning all these keywords here are ranking in the 3rd position, but these have a much lower CTR. In this case is 0%. Than this one. And then you have an idea, okay, does it make sense maybe to optimize the SERP snippet, and so on and so forth. I have that for plenty of views. So let's check this one here. So in countries, you can see what the share of clicks and impressions for a specific country is, or how this splits up by device. You have it here also for dates. And then I can go here to an advanced report and, for example, say, please show me when Google updates were occurring in the chart, and then seeing the data by day. You can also then see the differences if you like. So how many clicks did I had in 1 week versus the other week? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? You can download all these files in a specific format. You can save these screenshots to your clipboard or download them. And many, many additional things like adding trend lines or adding baselines into the chart or changing the chart type. And many, many other things. A very interesting and important one is the index coverage report, which you can see here. The key benefit is that it's first off showing you the data broken down into indexed, potentially indexable and non-indexed or not indexed pages. And even more important, you can analyze this over time. So within the extension, I built a feature which is grabbing the data for you if you want and save it locally on your HTD. And within GSC, we by default have this rolling 90 days window. But if you're activating the functionality, which is called data history, you can define which property types you want to capture, or whether you want to have it as a blacklist or a whitelist. Yeah. And you can also export it and share it with colleagues. So then you have your local snapshots, and these local snapshots are being used within this report over here. And then if you have collected enough data, you can extend the time frame. Yeah. In this video here, I'm not having any additional data inside this property yet. So that's why I'm seeing the same thing. But the interesting part, for example, is that you can switch the layout, or you could say, show me a difference chart. So saying, based on the different snapshots, is one particular group increasing or decreasing? And you can save those things. You can copy the chart directly into your clipboard and paste it for presentations or whatsoever. Another important thing is this report over here. So this report is slightly different than the ones I was showing you before, because this is actually grabbing data for you for specific configurations. You can also break it down by specific sitemaps. So it currently says these reports are available. And I'm now saying generate report, and I'm showing you what's happening in the background. So when I'm going to the network tab, you can see that I'm requesting these various drill downs for you, and then combine them into one report. So this is what happened and what is happening here. So let's close this. It takes a few seconds. And then all these index coverage reports are being combined in one strong report. Okay, there is currently a bug which I need to fix. So for example, here I can see this index coverage trend report. Again, I can spot it based on submitted or non-submitted pages. So bear with me when when you work with this report, it will look slightly different because there's currently something not configured as I wanted to have. So here you can say only show me reports that are or show me URLs that are reported in a specific report that have been crawled since a longer period of time or whatsoever, or looking at it in the folder view, like saying, okay, how many URLs are being reported for this specific folder, how many of them are indexed, how many are non-indexed. And also here you have a button which is linking you to the URL property. And if you don't have URL properties set up for your most important folders, just go here, click on the link, and if you're an admin, you can instantly verify them. Another report we could have a quick look into is the crawl stats report. So here it's the same functionality as we have seen before. I'm checking which reports are available, and then I can also create a combined file. So in the default crawl stats report, you always have these sample URLs. And the same sample or the same URL with the same timestamp can occur in multiple reports. And by combining the data, I can then tell you what was the purpose, what was the file type, and whatsoever. So this takes us a couple of seconds until all the reports are being captured. So let's let this thing run. And then, yeah, we basically have all the data together and can work with it. So let's quickly wait until the report is finished. It's basically the same process as I've shown you before. So when I would check here the network tab, you will see that all the requests are being performed. Now the last report is being grabbed, and then everything is combined. And then you have a report in here. You have a Spark line telling you how the data is performing in specific groups. You can then view which URLs are mentioned most often. When was the last crawl? When was the first crawl being reported? Does it have a mixed status code, meaning sometimes it's answering or replying with status code 200 or then 3 or 4 whatsoever. You can watch it by crawl. You can analyze it by date. You have a folder explorer again, where you can see what are the status code distributions based on specific folders. You can view it by parameters within the URL, and you also have a basic visualization. So this is also a very strong report I recommend you to have a look into and basically start working with it. So this is the quick run through. So if you have any questions, just drop in here in the comment. Otherwise, I would be excited if you give GSC Helper a try, and yeah, let me know if there's something I can help you with. Bye.